Hi everyone, my name is Nisrina Nur Habibah, and in this video, I'm going to talk about scaffolding, one of the most important concepts in classroom discourse. And we're going to talk about what it means, how it plays out in Indonesian schools, and why it's harder to do than it sounds. Okay, so what exactly is scaffolding? The term comes from Wood, Brunner, and Rose in 1967, and the metaphor is pretty simple. Think of scaffolding on a building under construction. It holds things up temporarily while the structure is being built, and once the building can stand on its own, the scaffolding comes down. Okay, in a classroom, scaffolding works the same way. It's the temporary adjustable support. A teacher gives a student to help them reach understanding they couldn't reach alone. And here it has three defining features. First, contingency. Support adapt to what each student needs in that moment. The support is responsive. It adjusts to what the student actually needs in that moment. Second one is fading. As the student's ability grows, the support gradually pulls back. And the third one is transfer or responsibility. Ultimately, the goal is for the student to become independent. Okay, now scaffolding doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's rooted in Vygotsky concept of the zone of proximal development or ZPD. Sorry. Okay. Uh, he just say there's a gap between what a learner can do on their own and what they can achieve with guidance. That gap, that's the ZPD, and that's exactly where scaffolding operates. Okay, without scaffolding, students left alone in their ZPD to stall out, disengage, or worse, develop misconception. But with scaffolding, a teacher or peer bridge that gap and the student reach understanding they simply couldn't get to alone. Okay, next is let's bring this into the Indonesian classroom, specifically at the elementary and junior high school level. The reality is Indonesian classroom are complex. We are talking 30 to 40 students in a single class, over 700 regional languages across the country, meaning many students come in already thinking in Javanese, Sundanese, or maybe Batak before switching to Bahasa Indonesia. And since 2020, Curriculum Merdeka has been pushing for more student-centered and career-based learning, which actually aligns really well with scaffolding. So here, a quick example of what scaffolding looks like in real grade 3 reading class. Instead of pointing to the answer, the teacher says, look at the sentence again. What is the first word? So, the student says, aku, and the teacher follows up, good. And what is aku doing in this sentence? So, that's it. No answer given, just graduated questioning, guiding the students through the process rather than handing them the destination. Okay, so why scaffolding is hard in Indonesia? Yes, there are the thing that scaffolding is actually really how to pull off consistently, especially in Indonesia. The first one is a lot of teachers confused scaffolding with spoon feeding. They look similar on the surface, but they're fundamentally different. Spoon feeding removes the struggle entirely, and scaffolding preserves the productive struggle. It just gives the student enough support to keep moving forward. And the second one is there are structural constraints. With 30 to 40 kids in a room and a packed curriculum to finish, there's very little space for the kind of individualized, moment by moment support that real scaffolding requires. And the third one is linguistic diversity makes it even harder. When a student is still processing in Japanese or Sundanese, scaffolding delivered in Bahasa Indonesia can completely miss the mark. So, so there are also the fourth challenge, which I think is actually the deepest one. In the traditional Indonesia classroom model, the teacher is the sole authority. Students receive knowledge passively. The correct answer is what matters, and silence is a sign of a good classroom. But scaffolding requires a completely different mindset. The teacher becomes a guide and a co-constructor. Students actively build knowledge, and the process matters just as much as the answer. And productive talk, student asking, discussing, and also questioning, that's actually a sign of learning happening. That shift isn't just about learning new techniques, it's about changing your fundamental belief in what students are capable of. So, to wrap it up, the scaffold goes up so that one day it can come down. Scaffolding is rooted in Fujatsu ZPD, defined by wood, burner, and draws a support that is temporary, contingent, and fading. In Indonesia, there are real openings for it, like curriculum Merdeka points in the right direction, and the cultural value of gotong royong already creates space for peer scaffolding, but the challenges are real too like class sizes, curriculum pressure, linguistic diversity, and deeply ingrained classroom norms. The question isn't whether scaffolding works. It does. The question is whether we create the condition for it to happen. Okay, maybe that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Bye.